See then. 1, 2,
This
and
ain't gonna
3.
end up on TV, is it?
No, probably not. Now, Bill, what's your last name?
Bornhorst.
Barnhorst, and you are one of the greatest groundskeepers in northern Kentucky here at Independence Cemetery, and we think the world of you.
Okay, cut.
And Miss June.
Cut.
Little structure here. Okay, let's go drive around. Okay. Here at the Independence Cemetery. Beautiful. That's good right there, huh? Zoom in on Cindy's there. Beautiful. Okay. Little bench where I was sitting. I can't get the one there right of Jesus unless you to stop right there. Yeah, that's good.
He has a little mockingbird that comes and sits on his head every day, and there he is.
Little mockingbird right there. Hold still, hon. Little mockingbird right there. See if I can get there close-up of the little mockingbird. Right there. On Jesus' head. Jesus in heaven. Jesus in heaven. Beautiful. Here at the Independence Cemetery. Where June walks regularly. And I walk when she lets me. And I got to meet Bill, so that's good. Now hold on and stop down here real quick. Yeah, down a little further. And I'll get the back of Cindy's. That's good right there. No, let's go to the Roses.
I'm really okay either way, John.
Let's go to the Roses.
I'll go this way. Then you can get a shot of the front.
Down on the left down here, far left, is the Grigsons, Jack Grigson and family. Wonderful sister-in-law we have of Joe B. His wife, Brad Hold's wife. And when we turn around this little loop, go down this way. And when we turn around this little loop down here, right over there on the left is where the Grigsons are. The Grigson family. And then we turn around this little loop, you'll see the Smallwoods here. Alita Smallwood and Bill Smallwood. Eddie Smallwood and David Smallwood's mother, father. Little further. That's good right there. I'll get a close-up of that. There's a good picture of them right there. Beautiful.
Okay.
Now we'll head on out to La Rosa's here in Independence, where we're going to have the Simon Kenton class of 1961 reunion. And Chester Crail just called and said he'll be coming in for the class reunion and then leaving on a trip out west from beautiful here, the cemetery. As you can see the front right here. Beautiful. Beautiful place here in Independence, Kentucky. Right here in Independence, and we go by the Bradford Lodge, where Gerald and Dorothy were active for many, many years. She was in the Eastern Star there, and then the City of Independence. And right on the left here is where Mr. and Mrs. Smallwood lived, right there. June and I live out here now on McCollum Road. right here is on Richard Wayne Scott Drive, and that's the drive that goes right down to Kroger's store. And right there is where I had my accident. And I had the right-of-way driving down through there, but unfortunately, someone pulled out and right into my path and head-on collision, hit the brakes and right into the side of their car and did about $5,000 damage to my car, the front end, and my body is recuperating slowly from it all. But that's life, and accidents do happen. Walgreens over there, and right there's McDonald's there, and Flourishes, which the guy that owns LaRosa's just bought the Flourishes building. We're not sure what he's going to do with it yet, but I'd like to see him turn it into another big boy place of some sort. He's a nice man. What's his name, June? Gary Holland. Gary Holland. Graduated from Simon Kenton High School. And there's our Rumpke friends on the Rumpke truck. Boy, they do hard work there. We'll head down to La Rosa's and turn in here right next to Deaton's. June loves the landscaping with Deaton's and La Rosa's. She loves the soup here and the pizza and all the different features there. Got the flag at half-mast here.
For the Pope.
For the Pope's passing on. L.D. Vance, our vice president, was over there the day before. We'll pull right in here. No Roses and Independence. Right here's where the Simon Kenton class reunion will be. 1961 class, going to be May the 17th. And May the 17th from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the Simon Kenton room here that they have. It's beautiful. And that's on the 17th. And come on out and join us. Richard and Pam Butler and Kent. And all of the class of 71. Tell me to do that.
Up to you, okay?
Right.
Okay.
It's running and you can just leave it running.
Okay, let me
All
just
you have
tell.
to do is just take little pictures with that little bottom camera.
Do you want me to take pictures or just do a video?
Well, you're doing the video when you're already
okay.
at the same time, but take
Got
a few
it.
little pictures too.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I saw her pictures for the first time after 4 months.
Really?
And she went on December 14th, no, 18th.
Can you take June a small bowl and some extra napkins? Got it? Okay. I gotta take pictures of the SK room. Yep.
but they fall in love and on this trip. What planet is the school board in Montgomery County, Maryland on? Randy Weingarten cannot go this far. She will not fall off this cliff. What planet are they on? Justice Kagan, Elena Kagan, normally in the liberal minority, thinks these books are inappropriate. They got to position themselves in Montgomery County. It's in a very affluent county, one of the most affluent in the country. That should give us some pause about the effects of money unchecked by anything else, and unchecked liberalism. There it goes, right into the universe.
Yep. Meantime, I want to play this exchange because this is with Neil Gorsuch yesterday and the Montgomery County attorney, back and forth on how much influence these books might have.
You've included these in the English language curriculum rather than the human sexuality curriculum to influence students. Is that fair?
It was to influence them towards civility, the natural consequence of being exposed.
Whatever, but to influence them.
In the manner that I just mentioned, yes.
That's the key word, influence. And when you're trying to influence somebody else's children, it is going a long way down that road, Bill.
Yeah, they really are, and this is a shame. We're at a crossroads. We were at a crossroads with the election. We're at another crossroads in the schools, and there's a demand on the part of parents for good things. As a result, I've developed something called resilienceandlearning.com, and it'll teach stories of value to children, but there'll be stories that parents and values that parents can endorse. We want our kids to learn right from wrong, and we want them to learn to be tolerant. But tolerance is not approval, and that's what they're asking for. Approval and yes, total agreement. You'll never get that from parents, not from most parents.
Here's a little bit of Ketanji Brown Jackson, the justice's argument. I'm not sure she quite meant to go this far, but did anyway. She says you could just homeschool your kids if you don't like it. Scoffed Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, arguing that it is not coercive for woke schools to teach left-wing ideology so long as parents have other options. Justice Jackson was implicitly conceding the case for universal school choice. Not sure it's what she wanted to do, Bill, but did it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's exactly right. And there is no universal school choice in Maryland. I've been pushing for school choice since I was secretary. We're now starting to see a lot of states go in that direction. But these parents can't use the money they're paying to the state for education to do homeschooling. She says there's no coercion. There's the coercion of taxes, which is to pay for education.
Yeah.
How about public money for the public, no matter where the public goes to school?
Which is what we talked about a long time ago. Basically, look, you got to give the money to the schools. You got to put the money, instead of giving it to the states, give it to the schools, give it to the parents.
Give it to the parents. Put it in the backpack, along with the lunch bag. They still have those. And let that backpack go to wherever the parent decides.
Bill Bennett,
am I showing my age?
No, not at all. You kidding me, Bill? Bill Bennett, thank you. Good to see you as always, sir.
Thanks, Trace.
Well, 2 must-listen episodes of the Untold Story podcast dropping this week. Today, Martha talks to the Wall Street Journal's Alyssa Finley and unpacks the shocking rise in autism rates. And part 2 of her deep dive comes out Friday. Callie Means, a top advisor to HHS Secretary RFK Jr., plans to uncover the cause of autism by September. To listen, go to foxnewspodcast.com. And the ultimatum given to Ukraine and Russia by the Trump White House, as we get new info this hour about peace talks today in London. That's next.
We've issued a very explicit proposal to both the Russians and the Ukrainians, and it's time for them to either say yes or for the United States to walk away from this process.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays for those who love family.
Well, breaking moments ago, President Trump's envoy to Ukraine, retired General Keith Kellogg, posting on X, and we're quoting here, positive talks in London with President Zelensky's rep. It's time to move forward on President Trump's war directive, stop the killing, achieve peace and put America first. Meantime, President Trump putting new pressure on Ukraine to cut a peace deal with Russia after President Zelensky said his country will not recognize Putin's occupation of Crimea. President Trump posting on Truth Social, quoting here the statement made by Zelensky today, will do nothing but prolong the killing field. And nobody wants that. We are very close to a deal, but the man with no cards to play should now finally get it done. Let's bring in Kurt Volker, former U.S. ambassador to NATO, now a distinguished fellow at the Center for European Policy Analysis. Kurt, great to have you on the show as always. Ambassador, my question is basically, we're getting some mixed signals here. You have Zelensky saying, look, things look good. You have General Keith Kellogg saying things look good. But a short time ago, you had Zelensky saying they won't recognize occupation of Crimea.
Yeah, and there's no surprise there. Russia stole Crimea back in 2014. They've occupied it ever since. Ukraine has been very clear that they're not going to recognize Russia's occupation as legitimate. But that being said, what we see in this peace proposal that Trump has put forward is that they're not asking Ukraine to recognize Crimea as Russian. Mm-hmm. It's only asserting that the United States would recognize Crimea as Russian, which is a bit strange, but that seems to be what's there. And I guess what President Trump was reacting to was the fact that Zelensky was coming out in a public way and saying they won't do it when that wasn't the question.
Yeah, is there middle ground? I mean, it kind of begs that next question. Do you think there's middle ground to be found here? Because General Kellogg and the people who were in the meeting today appear to be at least, you know, some confidence building coming out of that get together.
Sure. Well, they would know best because they were in the direct discussions with each other. What I see is that if you could have a genuine ceasefire, a full-scale ceasefire, which Russia would do as well as Ukraine, that would then create the conditions where you have this minerals deal. Ukraine and the United States are aligned economically. It provides a funding basis for future military support to Ukraine. And then you have the Europeans provide security assurances, and they take on more of the burden themselves. That seems like a way to work this. And Ukraine would understand that they're not going to take back the territory Russia occupies militarily, but they would not accept or recognize that it is Russian territory. That does seem like a middle ground. Yeah. This thing on Crimea is the strange part about why the U.S. would recognize it as Russian when nobody else will.
Yeah, it's, you know, you have J.D. Vance today. He was in India, and we played the soundbite a little earlier where he's saying, look, you know, the U.S. is threatening just to walk away from these talks altogether. And if the U.S. walks away, at least for the near future, it seems like it's a done deal.
Yeah, but we don't know what walk away even means. Does that mean no more negotiations? Does it mean that we stop aid to Ukraine? Does it mean that we lift sanctions on Russia? It's very unclear what that would be. Mm-hmm. And as President Trump has said many times, he wants to get a deal done. He really does. And I don't think walking away will produce a deal. I think you have to find that space.